Dr. Steve, how does an NLP trainer set the room?
Well, great question. And when you're an NLP trainer, you're training someone to learn NLP, it's very important to create an atmosphere that's about learning, but you're also able to use some NLP so you can anchor everyone on focusing on you as the center point of the room. So that's very important. So let's look at both of those considerations. And by the way, when I was working on my master's degree in adult education, we went over a lot of the latter stuff I'm going to share with you, which is about the room itself. But let's take a look at it from an NLP point of view, because as NLP trainers, we have the opportunity to use our NLP skills. So the key to giving a presentation is to guide the group to you. And as a presenter, you should stand in the center of the room, the front center of the room, and root yourself. When I say root yourself, you should always have a place to come back to. So if you're walking around, that's fine, but you always have a place that you come back to, and that's the place that they know is the power position, because that's where the information comes from. So you let your energy flood the room, and by that I don't mean anything metaphysical necessarily. I mean you're projecting your voice, you're looking at people in the room, you're making sure that everyone's engaged, you're sometimes stepping out actually into the audience that is watching you occasionally, and you're always going back to that root position. Now, you also want to look to the furthest corners of the room. Let your eyes wander through the center of the room and then back to you. And when I say back to you, back to your feet is really helpful, because that roots, kind of lassos everyone, if you will, and roots them to you, so they know that's the power position. You can also gesture with your hands, somewhat like this, bringing the group in, and then rooting them on you, on where you're standing, so they know that that's the power position. That's where things are happening from. And also making eye contact is powerful. You know, you want to find, and this is something I learned from studying with Toastmasters International, that every now and then you look at someone just for a few seconds, not holding it too long, and then you move on to someone else. You pick a specific person, you're looking at them and talking to them, and just for a few seconds, then you pick someone else, you're looking at them and talking to them. This is very powerful, especially if you have people who aren't really paying attention or they seem like they're zoning out. You can make it personal for them. And also it sets up the expectation of, I never know who he's going to look at next, so I better pay attention in case I have one of these people. Other information that's very powerful for this, the information I said I was going to share that I learned when I was working on my master's degree in adult education, you want to get there early. You know, the worst thing I think is for any educator to arrive at a room when the class arrives. You know, if they arrive when the class arrives, things aren't set up. You know, lighting isn't set up, the temperature isn't quite right, the acoustics may not be right. Now, it's different if you've prepared the room ahead of time, even the night before, everything's set up, sort of like a band does. You know, a band does a sound check, make sure everything works, keyboards, everything, and then they go away and then they come back. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you've checked everything. Does the microphone work? Does the electronic stuff work? You know, you're going to show perhaps a PowerPoint. Does that work? You don't want to find out in the moment that it doesn't work. I've been in many learning situations, both in NLP and in mainstream academia, all the way through my doctorate, in which the teacher didn't prepare. And it's really a disservice to the students. If the teacher doesn't prepare, then you really have some situation in which anything could happen. They're finding out this doesn't work, they're finding out that doesn't work, and that slows everything down. Also, you want to make sure that everyone can see and hear what's going on. So it's really great if you have someone else pretend they're you, and then you go to the back of the room and you see if you can actually hear what they're saying, and you see if you can actually see what's going on. You want to make sure that you understand any limitations of the room. So all of those things together have to do with how an NLP trainer would set up the room.
Very great information. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, for more information about NLP, go ahead and check out the website I've designed for you, which is stevegjones.com, and you can click on the NLP tab and learn more. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones, hoping you have an outstanding day.